What is going on, everybody? It is Bush Fishing, and we have returned. We're going to be finishing up this Regal. If you guys didn't see the last video, we used some new products and we took care of a lot of the scratches and stuff on the hull, but there are a few things that we still have left to do. We have a nasty little chip in the back here that we need to fix, and up under, you guys cannot see that, but you can. There's a big chip there. There is a lot of stress cracking underneath here, but we're not going to be taking care of that because the customer wants to wait until the winter, which is perfectly fine because I need to get this boat out tomorrow night because I have a 30-footer coming in tomorrow night, and the guy hit a rock, so make sure to stay tuned for that video. But yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. We're gonna be color matching. I did not order the color Gelcoat for this, which is a very light gray, and the reason for that is I wanted to make a video color matching for you guys. I haven't really shown it in depth. I did a short on it, but essentially, if you can, go to spectrumcolor.com, put in your make and model. So for this it would be Regal, and then we look up gray, and you can buy the exact gel coat that you need for the boat, but it's not always perfect, and sometimes you have a color, or it might be a really old boat, or it's oxidized that you need to match to that. Obviously, buff it first, see what color it is, and then that's when you do your color matching. But this area was already buffed out, it was finished nicely. I have a white gel coat from Spectrum, the black is for down below, and I have two different colored grays. One is shale, one is an actual gray. I think we're gonna be using this. You can also get these color pigment kits from Spectrum, and it will have a blue. I think that's the only, blue and yellows are the ones that I'm missing. But essentially, these are your pigments that you would add into a color that's close, or you can do it straight from white. And essentially, you use these in small amounts to make the perfect color. Highly recommend Spectrum. You go on their website, you put in, say Regal, say Malibu, whatever, they have every boat brand, and they can get you the exact color. Or if you don't want to do any of this, you can send them a piece of the boat, like anchor lockers are a common piece to take out, and you ship it down to them in Florida, and they'll scan it and make the exact color for the boat like that. But you can do it this way as well, which is what we're going to be doing. Before we get into the video, if you guys are new here, I'm Teo. I run Bush Fishing ST Marine. We do all boat repair. I'm a full-time mechanic. We do all the mechanical work, fiberglass, gel coat, and all that. So if that's anything that you guys are interested in, we're going to be trying to get up multiple uploads a week. And yeah, we have a lot coming, so make sure to subscribe. If you guys aren't subscribed, you should. That's what the cool guys are doing these days. Enough of that. Let's get into it. So I'm gonna have you guys behind me so I can't really see what you're looking at, but hopefully my arm won't be in the way of what you guys are seeing. When we put the gel coat on the boat to match it, you wanna make sure it's a buffed out area. So that's the first thing. I'm gonna get rubbered up. So I'm gonna start off with my white base. I'm just using a cobalt white. This was a, they ordered the wrong, or we ordered the wrong gel and they sent us a free one. So we're gonna get this opened up. This is already mixed up. If you guys see like a pink layer on top, that's the wax in it. You need to bring these up to room temperature if you keep them refrigerated for the wax to actually dissolve back into it. But this has been mixed up. So what I'm gonna do is have a rag ready. I'm pretty sure they make toppers for these so you can pour out the gel. I should really invest in that. Now keep in mind, we're doing two small areas. There's a chip in the front and a chip in this corner. I don't need a whole lot of it. The more base color you put in, the harder it's gonna be to change the color of it. So you'll need more pigment and stuff. So I'm essentially just gonna do that much, probably 4 ounces. And I'm gonna wipe so we don't have a massive mess on our hands. So this is a shale color. Anyways, now I'm going to take my gray color that is nicely open now, and I'm gonna pour a little bit in at a time. This is a very light gray color, so I don't wanna go too heavy with it. And now we're gonna mix the ever-living hell out of it. Make sure to scrape the sides of the cup. This turned kinda like blue. So I'll show you guys my test spots at the end, but right now this is way too light and blue. So we're getting better, but it's way too blue and it's still a little light. So what I'm gonna do is add some of the sandstone color into it. The sandstone color will still darken it, but it has more of a yellow undertone. So I'll show you guys where we're at now. This was after adding 2 we'll say amounts of the sandstone. So the original, we started with white, put in the shale, which was very blue undertones. If you guys can see that, imagine that, that's blue. That's more of, I probably should have gone straight to this. This is the color that we have right now. And this is a buffed out area, and what I'm doing is, I'm gonna have to move the light a little bit, but so you can see this is our first color on the left here, way too light. We added some more, but it's still blue compared to the hull. And this is the color that we just got to. So this is honestly really good. I think we could go a touch lighter. So I'll add a little bit of, you can either drown it out with the white gel or you can add some of the white pigment. I'll probably add some of the pigment just to show you guys that. But now we're in the fine tuning mode. So this is what the pigment looks like. When it's brand new, it's thinner than what this is. This is a little bit thick. It's been sitting for a while. I probably need to order a new kit. With the whites, if you're trying to go back on a color and lighten it up, it's gonna take more than if you're darkening a color. If we have like a real gray and we're turning it black, trying to get it darker, or like a yellow and we're trying to get it darker, once you put the darker color in, it's gonna take so much more of the light color to bring it back. So we put a decent amount in because our batch size is much larger now. When you're mixing different gel coats to make a color, your batch size is gonna go up. And before we put this on the boat, we're gonna pour it into another cup and mix it up really well and then double check our color. Because no matter what, like you can see it's still white down here. There's gonna be some left on the sides of the cup, and we don't want that, especially if you're spraying, you don't want that to end up in your color. So I'm gonna test this again. It's still a hair dark, so I'm gonna drown it with some of the white gel. And I think it's safe to say we're done with these. So I'm gonna cover these up so I don't spill them again. Put those guys back in the bin. And now we'll pour some of this white back in. We don't wanna go too light, but we wanna get enough in there. This should hopefully be it. It's cool to see if you're looking straight down on it in good lighting, you'll be able to see when the color changes. These grays are easy, whites are easy. They're kind of clear to see what you need. Cobalt white, for example, is either blue or yellow undertones. But like navy blue, I struggle a lot with getting it matched right. All right, let's test this again. I think we got her. All right, so if you guys look here, you can see our first color, second, third, fourth, fifth. And keep in mind, I've had sides of hulls covered in these swatches trying to get the color right, but I'm pretty happy with that color right there. And I think that's gonna look good in our hull. So now we're gonna start prepping our area, getting everything taped off nicely. You can see how rough these edges are. We wanna sand this so these edges are tapered, and we're gonna do the old wax paper trick on this. So I'm gonna grab my 320 on my half moon, and I essentially just want to take down these edges so they're not rough anymore. And I want to make a nice smooth transition into the fiberglass. This fiberglass looks a little rough, but it's not compromised completely. It's not a structural issue. So that's why we're not going to lay glass on it. And another note, you could put filler on this, skim it, and then spray this. I don't like using filler. If I can avoid it, I won't, or I will. I'd rather it just be fiberglass and gel coat. If you don't sand this to a nice smooth transition, you'll see the edge of your repair. Even if the color is a perfect match, you'll see the edge of it and you'll have what's called a halo. So with that sanded out, we're gonna grab our acetone. We're gonna spray all this area. We're gonna make sure to get all that dust out so we have a nice clean surface. So as you can see here, I have my wax paper prepped and ready. It's taped on one side so I can hold this back, lay my gel in there, and then I'll smear it out and then tape the bottom and top to seal it off. And then I have my two pieces of tape ready right next to me. We use the wax paper for multiple reasons. One of them being it's gonna hold our gel in place. If we were just to hand lay that up on the side of a boat, it's gonna drip out. This stuff's pretty watery still. One, it's gonna hold it into place. Two, it depends on the gel coat that you use. If you're using gel without wax, it'll never fully cure unless it's cut off from the oxygen. The wax paper, if we tape it off on all sides, it's gonna seal it from the oxygen and let it go fully hard. That's what we want. If you guys do this, and you don't know what kind of gel coat you have, and you just put it on the boat, spray it, whatever, and you feel that it's sticky, it stays sticky, you can't sand it, it just starts rolling off, it's probably because it doesn't have wax. Spectrum Color makes Patch 8. It's a wax additive that you mix in and then you spray. The wax comes to the surface, seals the gel coat off from the air, and then you fully cure and you sand it off. The Patch 8 also gets cured, so it goes hard as well, but normally you wipe it with some acetone on the surface and it takes the wax off and you can start sanding for a beautiful finish. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna mix this up one last time and I'm gonna pour some of this into my cup. We're not gonna be using all of this, but we're gonna catalyze some of it. Just give her a nice wipe. And we're using new sticks with everything. We're not using the same stick. I've got about 3 ounces of gel in here. I'm gonna be catalyzing at 2%. I'm gonna let this go overnight. So I'm gonna do probably 36 drops. A lot of people have commented, get a real catalyst dispensing cup. I have one. But with small amounts like this, I'd rather use drops. I think it's more accurate. I think it's very important to catalyze your gel coat properly and use measurements. My 36 drops was probably 2.5% on this, which is still okay. I wouldn't go above 2.5%. I wouldn't go below probably 1%. But with such small amounts, I want to mix the ever-living hell out of this. So I'm going to be mixing for a while. Before I put this on, I'm going to prep my front area. I have a tiny little chip up there. I'm going to prep that so I can just lay both of these at once. I'll show you guys that before I leave. All right, we're catalyzed. Our other areas are prepped. Let's lay a bunch of this gel in there and hopefully not spill it all over the place. I like to just dab it in there. It's going to drip. You're going to lose some at the top, but I like to start from the top. Kind of fill it all the way down. You want to make sure you have enough in here. The more you put in, the more you're going to sand and the more that's going to splooge out. But still, I would rather have too much and sand more than not enough. And right before I smear it, I push it in, I'm going to do a dot at the top. And now, using my fingers, I'm going to start from the bottom. With the wax paper, if you get a little crease in it, pull in opposite directions and you'll get it out. But this looks like we have a good amount in there. It's trying to sag down on me. I'm gonna keep pushing it up. But once I have the angle right, the edge that I want, I'm gonna grab my tape and being gentle, I'm gonna tape it off on the bottom and the top as well. Just like that, we can leave that overnight. You can push some of these dents out if you want. And we are filled. All right, the black got real messy. So obviously it's dripping out the sides. All of this is gonna get sanded, so I'm okay with that. I don't wanna mess with it right now. But we got the hole filled, our wax paper's flattened out. Our other color match areas are laid out. Again, this is without direct light on it. You can see there's our final color. That's what we started with. It looks incredible. So it is extremely, extremely late right now. I need to get home and eat dinner. So I'm gonna let these cure fully overnight. We'll come back tomorrow and we're gonna finish this up. We'll sand, buff these areas, take a look at them, and then I will pull in a 30-footer for another video on what happens after you hit a rock. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, welcome back everybody. It is a new day, the next day, and I've been all over the place. I put one contact in this morning and lost the other one, but low-key kind of forgot that I recorded this. So I began sanding already. So this obviously fully cured and everything. We have, as you can see, a low spot here, but so far it's looking like it's gonna match pretty good. I'm gonna keep sanding with the 320, go a little further, and then hopefully take care of this little hole here. And then we'll work 600, 800,000, buff it out, probably clean up this whole area with the acetone. This is what that color match looked like dry. So you can see that end piece was our final color match. So the shaping's a little wonky. I gotta work that out. Once we get it shaped right, we'll move up 600, 800,000 buff. Front areas went off, but this is the one that I'm gonna show you guys. So ignoring the massive bald spot up here, if you look down here, you'll see our repair area, I believe, was right in here. We'll pull up a clip of what it looked like before and what it looks like now with the color matched gel coat. So this video is about color matching. That's how I do it. If you look, I don't even know if you guys are going to be able to see this on camera. Let me go through the viewfinder. If you look here, you can see where this gel was sprayed before. So buffing it uncovered that, and you can see exactly where somebody was. So I'm gonna talk to him about this bald spot. Well, I did already. He doesn't want me to do anything with this. He literally just wanted that chip filled. Chip is filled, and we filled the other ones as well. And I think I said this already, but he didn't approve the stress cracks, just the hole. So, but he does want to bring it back in the winter. So maybe next winter, you guys will see me spray this whole edge and then do that. But I mean, coming from having a big hole back here to not, looks very good. So I'm gonna get working on the other holes, and we'll do a little walk around at the end.